It's 5 o'clock on a Wednesday, which means it's time for
Craig and Ryland's Magic Review Show.
I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
Welcome back to the show, and thank you very much for tuning in once again. Really appreciate it. This week we have got 4 really interesting products. We are looking...
Stupid, 2 awesome.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, to be perfectly honest, right? 1 that's especially terrible. But there's...
Which is mine, which is not fair, but...
I know, but that's just the way it is. But we're going to get into it, and we're going to start off with one of the most anticipated tricks that everybody is talking about in the community at the moment, which is Switch 1 by Vanishing, Inc. So let's have a look at that right now. Okay, so the first trick we're going to be looking at is Switch 1 by Christian Grace and Vanishing, Inc. And this has been teased for a long time. I know that a lot of people saw this at Blackpool 2019. I didn't. But Christian was on the Vanishing Inc. stand at Blackpool a couple of years ago, actually demonstrating this, and it was kind of becoming an urban legend, kind of like, oh, have you seen Switch 1? Have you seen Switch 1? And I'm a big fan of Christian's work. He's got some incredible material. His membership site is really good. So when Vanishing Inc. started teasing this, kind of like, the wait is over, it's coming soon, I was super excited about this, and I think the whole of the Magic community is as well. It's currently on like about an 85,000 page thread on the Magic Cafe. All the forums are talking about, everyone's talking about it. There's been some video reviews already. I know that Steve Faulkner's done a review on this. What is it, basically, is the question. So what Switch 1 is it's a way of switching one card for another. There's a little bit more to it than that. But that's the basic essence. The basic essence is it's a way of taking a folded up card and in the action of unfolding it, switching it for another card. And I think it's really important that we're clear about that, because I don't think the ad copy...
It's like sort of a move, isn't it?
It is a move, and I think that's important to point out, Ryalnd, because the ad copy and the trailer, well, not the trailer so much, but the ad copy... I don't want to say it was misleading. A lot of people are getting really angry on the cafe, and there's some negative reviews going online on Penguin saying, oh, the ad copy was completely misleading, because I think a lot of people were left with the impression that this is a gimmick that does the switch for you. And I want to be clear here so everybody knows what they're going to be buying. There is a gimmick included in this, but the gimmick is an index that Christian and Vanishing Inc. have designed to enable you to do the routine that you see on the trailer that I'm going to perform in a minute. Yeah. So the gimmick is not to assist the switch. The switch is a move. It's a very clever move. And the switch is a move that is designed to take a folded up card and in the action of unfolding it, switching it for another card, which has been in palm from the beginning, or whatever it is.
Basically exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is, right? And the gimmick is an index which is designed to fit into your pocket that allows you access to any card. So the whole concept of the routine is you have a reason to go into your jacket pocket, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but you go into your jacket pocket because the index is designed really to work with the jacket pocket. The index goes into your, you have a reason to go into your jacket pocket, and when you do, you retrieve the relevant card. And by the way, it is a very good index. I've seen a lot of indexes and you have to fumble around for quite a long time. With this index, you're in and out in literally a second. So you grab the relevant card, and then the folded up card has been here from the very beginning, and then you unfold it, and that's the card that they've named. Yeah. And when Christian performs this, he's got this handling. You can just do it just like I explained, and that's how I'm going to perform it for you in a second. But Christian's got this really neat idea where he takes a phone, borrows a phone, and he starts the timer, and he puts an envelope on top of the glass, and he has the audience select a card, and when they've selected the card, he stops the timer, and let's say the timer's at 28 seconds, he opens up the envelope, and they read out the prediction, which says you will select a card in 28 seconds, which is a really nice moment. It's actually quite deceiving, but in the action of them reading out that prediction, that allows you to put the envelope that the prediction was in into your pocket, which allows you to get the relevant card out of the index. So you can then say, but you picked a card, and that's the justification to go into your pocket, which is a really clever way of justifying the trip into your pocket. Now, I'm going to perform this for you very, very quickly. I'm going to do this on you, Ryalnd, if that's okay. We've not set it up. We've not prearranged it. Ryalnd knows how this works, but I'm going to do a real-world kind of performance of this. I will say that I've been working on this switch quite a lot. I mean, how much have I been practicing this?
quite a lot.
I have been sitting there just like, I was watching you play Zelda, and I was there switching my card, and I was upstairs earlier on eating a bacon sandwich for lunch, and I was switching the card, and I was just doing it everywhere. This is the sort of thing that it's going to take a little bit of practice. To say in the trailer, this is easy. It's not ridiculously difficult. We're not talking about you know, like a pass here or something like that. It's a lot easier than that. But I don't think it's fair to say this is easy. It's maybe easy to get the mechanics down, but it will take practice to make it look good. I've been practicing this for about 2 or 3 days now. I think I'm at a level where I can perform it relatively well, and then I think it's going to get better over time. And I think that's really important. A lot of people, they buy new magic, and what they do is they don't put it in their act. Because they buy it, they practice it, and they say, right, I'm going to get it perfect before I put it in the act. And then they end up not putting it in the act because they don't feel comfortable with it. What I tend to do is I get it to a position where I know it's going to work and it's going to fool people, and then I'll put it into the act if I want to put it in the act, and then it'll become fluid over time. So I've got it to a point where I think it's acceptable. I think it's going to get better more I work with it, but that's just a preface. I'm going to do that for you right now. So I'm going to perform Switch 1 for you, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Okay, Ryalnd, I'm going to show you something. I have a card underneath this glass. Can you see that right there?
Yes.
I want you to remember that that's there from the very, very beginning. Now, Ryalnd, I want you to imagine there's an invisible deck of cards, and you remove either the red cards or the black cards. Which cards are you removing?
Black.
You're removing the black cards. Okay, so that leaves you with the red cards, which are the hearts and the diamonds. We can do this again. We're going to remove either the hearts or the diamonds. Whichever remove we're going to get rid of. Which would you like to remove?
Diamonds.
Diamonds. That leaves us with the hearts. We're going to do this one more time, but this time, well, actually, would you like to? We'll do it again. Would you like to remove the picture cards or the number cards?
Picture cards.
Okay, so that leaves us with all the number cards, 8 through to 10. This time, you're going to remove one card, but that's going to be the card that you end up on, okay? So, which card is that?
4 of hearts.
Now, do you want to change your mind? Because I don't want you saying later on that I made you pick the 4 of hearts. Are you happy with the 4 of hearts?
Yeah.
Yeah? Are you sure?
Yeah.
And this card has been here from the very, very beginning, isolated under this glass, and you had a free choice of any card, and you chose the 4 of hearts, didn't you?
Yes.
Right here, that is the 4 of hearts. Okay, so that is an accurate performance of Switch 1. Now, you'll notice, and this is the one thing that I kind of took exception to a little bit on the trailer. On the trailer and the ad copy, 2 things, actually. The first thing is, or the main thing that I took exception to, is the trailer has Christian performing this, and at no point does he go into his jacket pocket. At no point does he go into his jacket pocket, and he makes a big deal on the trailer, going, "This is a full and edited clip. The camera's never going to pan away," and that's true, and that's exactly what happens. And what you see is a full accurate performance on the trailer of Switch 1. However, he doesn't go into his pocket. Now, I have a feeling he's probably got the index put somewhere else, like maybe it's against the table, or maybe it's in his back pocket. But that's not how he teaches it on the download. The download comes with a 30-minute download, 31-minute download, and Christian goes into great detail. First of all, how to set the index up. Secondly, how to retrieve a card from the index, and the only thing he talks about is having that in the index, in the inside pocket. And then he goes into how the Switch works, and the tutorial for the Switch is taught in excruciating detail. Like, it's one of the best, most explained things I've ever seen. But he never explains about where else to put the index, like, oh, you can put it in your back pocket. So I took a bit exception a little bit to that performance, because if you're going to put a performance in there of you doing this, then I think you need to explain it somewhere on the project. And he didn't. He didn't explain that the index was elsewhere, because he spends a lot of time talking about how to retrieve it from an inside pocket. And if it's in this side, do this. And if it's grab the jacket here, and if it's here, do this and grab the jacket here, which all made sense. And when I go and do this in the real world, this is going to go, and I will be doing this, by the way, this is going to go into my inside jacket pocket, because that absolutely makes sense. But if he's got a different way of doing it, then I think he needs to explain that, because I have a feeling the handling is going to be different if it's in his back pocket, for example, and he never explained that. So I think that was a little bit naughty on the trailer there, to be perfectly honest. The other thing is, like, when I did that, I had the index down here, and I worked out a way of doing it sitting behind a table. I think this index works brilliantly sitting behind a table.
Okay.
But that was my own working out of it. It wasn't taught on the thing. The one other thing I want to talk about with the tutorial is the tutorial is about 31 minutes. The Switch is brilliant. I just want to get out there. This is well worth learning for the Switch. It's got so many other applications. Creative people are going to come up with a million things that you can do with this. So the tutorial is great. The teaching, as you would expect from Christian, is wonderful. There's then an advanced handling where you can set the index up to cover any playing card, because the way they teach it on the trailer, not on the trailer, the way they teach it on the tutorial is it's just the red card. So there's a bit of equivoke at the beginning, but in the advanced handling, which is a PDF, they talk about how to set it up so they can name any card and there's no equivoke, but it's a little bit more difficult. I'm going to go for the original handling, but that's worth knowing as well. So there is a PDF with an advanced handling in there, but there's no mention of how to use the Switch. How to use the index unless it's in the inside jacket pocket. You said you had questions for me. What were the questions?
Well, what different stuff can you do with it? What other stuff can you do with it?
What other stuff can you do with it? Well, I mean, there's videos out there of Christian like taking a card, tearing it in half, and then just immediately putting it back together using the Switch. He's got something out there of a bus ticket torn in half, putting it back together, taking a card, unfolding it, and as you do, it turns into a dollar bill. All of this stuff is not taught on the trailer, and I really on the tutorial, and I really wish it was. I really wish it was, because the Switch it has so many applications. It has so many applications, but none of it is taught outside of the routine that you just saw me perform. But I think for creative people, I think they're going to be able to come up with a load of stuff. The obvious application is doing it as a mystery card. So there's a folded up card under a glass. Someone signs a card. It's lost in the pack. Yeah. And then you unfold it. Now, the problem with that is the card that you're switching in has to be folded in a very particular way. And I think that's why nobody's talking about the mystery card plot in conjunction with this. Could it be used for the mystery card plot? Absolutely, maybe. Yeah. But I mean, Christian never talks about it, but I think it could be. But the cards have to be, you wouldn't just be able to do a Mercury card fold and do this. That wouldn't work. I don't even think you'd be able to do John Allen's perfect score, because you don't want it folded exactly in half. You want it slightly off center. And also it needs to be kind of worked in. The fold needs to be worked in. So I don't know. Maybe there's a way of doing this with a signed card. I'm not too sure. I like the idea of having two cards and openly taking any two cards out of the pack, having both cards signed, and openly folding the cards into quarters and doing a transposition between them. Because using that switch, you could do an incredibly clean transposition between two cards. Imagine having someone pick a black card, someone pick a red card, the red card signed and put over there, the black card signed and put over there. You take the you take the black card, you put it in your pocket. You take the red card, you snap your fingers when you unfold it, it's the black card, the red card's there. I mean, that would be very easy to do immediately. Anybody who's watched this will be able to do that switch immediately. So there are other applications. They're not covered on the download, but there are other applications that you can do with this. It does say in the ad copy, that's the other thing that kind of annoyed me a bit. It does say in the ad copy, it's limitless what you can do with it, which is true, but they don't really cover what the limitless options are that you can do with it. Did you have other questions?
Is it easy?
Well, like I said before, it's not difficult, but it is going to take a lot of practice. Like, I've been practicing this for about 3 or 4 days. I was in North Wales doing an illusion show yesterday, and the entire way there and the entire way back, it's like a 7-hour round trip. I was just practicing this switch over and over and over again. So I've put a lot of time and effort into this switch.
It's like 3.5 hours there.
Each way, yeah. It takes a long time. It's going to take a while for people to feel comfortable with it. I have a feeling if you do torn and restored card and you're used to, like a Guy Hollingworth, Daniel Garcia, Matt Wright style torn and restored card where you're unfolding cards and switching them in and out. If you do that style of routine, I think you're going to be very comfortable with this a lot quicker than someone who's never done anything like that before. But you are going to have to palm something. You are going to have to hold something out. Your hand is dirty the entire time. That's something you need to be aware of just for people that have got magician's guilt. It is not a gimmick that does the switch for you. It is a move that you will have to practice. Did you have any other questions?
What are the angles like? Last question.
That's a great question, actually. What are the angles like?
That's the last question.
That's the last question. You got no other questions for me. You're done. You're out. The angles are really good. The angles are really good. Really, the bad angles are from behind. But if you know someone's watching you directly from behind, you can bring your hands into your chest maybe and cover those bad angles. You don't want somebody looking from the extreme left, from the extreme right, you're absolutely fine. From the front and from like a 180-degree angle, you're absolutely fine. You don't need a table. Because
they can't really see you from straight from the back because you've got your body.
Exactly. You can put the card on someone's hand, so you don't need to put it in underneath a glass. You can just put it in their hand and then unfold it and put it back in their hand. So it is a commercial trick. It really is a commercial trick. I think the angles are good, right? Here's the thing. Would you practice this? Because you can't palm because your hands are too small, but a folded up card you could do. Would you learn this?
Yeah.
Yeah? It'd take a bit of practice. You'd do this, would you?
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is one of the best switches that I've ever seen. You know, there's an argument to say what we have here is something that you could do with an invisible deck. You know, you put one card on the table, you have someone name a card, you unfold it, it's their card. What's the difference between that and I've turned one card over in this pack, name a card, look, the one card turned over is your card. There's an argument to say that, and I understand the people that think that, I totally get that. But I think that this has so many applications, it really does, beyond the index. To be honest, I think I'll probably end up not using the index and I'll probably end up just using the switch because I think there's going to be a lot more that I can do with the switch. Although I am going to take this out in the real world, I am going to work it with the index. Is it better than an invisible deck? It depends on who you perform it for. For a magician, absolutely. For a card expert, absolutely. If you're booked for like a casino or something and you want to talk about invisible switching, there's so many different ways you can go with this. It's different is the answer. But I'm glad I got this because I really, really, really wanted to learn this switch. And I have learnt this switch, and I think this is the best switch of its type. I've seen other switches. You've got the J. Sankey paperclip switch. You've got the only switch you'll ever need. Got marketed by Illusionist, I think, with a paperclip. This is better than all of those. This is the best switch I've ever seen, but it is going to take a lot of practice. I'm going to give this 98%, as I say. The ad copy in the trailer is a little bit naughty, but the bottom line is this does what it says on the tin. It says, switch one. This is going to teach you how to switch one card for another very, very easily. And you've got a really good index as well that will probably last you a lifetime, that's very quick to retrieve from. It's a good package. I'm going to give it 98%. What about you? 99%. 99% from Ryalnd, 98% from me. Highly recommended. Okay, guys, so the next up we have MAGIKUB. Magic Cube. Yeah, by Federico... Poeymiro or something? MAGIKUB 2.0. Now, this came out very, very recently, and it is an instant cube solving trick. So the idea of this is that you can take a Rubik's Cube, and with no ability whatsoever or no skill, you can solve a Rubik's Cube. That's what it actually says. Now, as with anything that comes into review, that's got something to do with Rubik's Cubes, you nick it immediately, don't you? So Ryalnd was like, okay, I want to see.
I was a bit disappointed.
You're a bit disappointed. You were almost in tears earlier on. He really doesn't like this. Look, can I get you to perform it first of all?
Yeah.
Right, okay. I'm going to get Ryalnd to perform it so you can kind of see what it does, and then we'll talk about what we think about it.
Yeah. I've got a mixed up Rubik's Cube here. Okay, now I'm going to just solve this green side just like this. And that green side is solved. And I'm going to solve the rest of the cube just like this, look. Just like that. Pants. Pants. Pants.
So that was a performance of MAGIKUB 2.0. Let me tell you what I think about it.
No, me first. I need to tell you something.
Okay, go ahead. The floor is yours. What's up?
This is stupid poop.
This is stupid poop. Why is this so bad? Seriously, why is this so bad?
Well, you could do this with a one-move solve. Like, literally, let me show you.
People might not know what the one-move solve is.
Well, literally, let me show you. I'm just going to mix this cube up, okay?
Yeah?
Like this, just going to mix it up. I can solve it in a move, like that. Look, that's a move. Watch. Like that. It's easy. That's what you could have done. That's without the gimmick. The gimmick's right over there. You can examine that.
He has got a point.
It's very stupid.
Or a 1 second solve, you know,
Yeah,
kind
1
of
second solve as well.
1 second solve like this, you know, kind of the whole, you know, I'm going to solve this in 1 second like that. That's also another way you could do it. I mean, there is a time and a place for instant cube solving gimmicks. Like, you like InstaCube. You like InstaCube, but the difference between this gimmick and InstaCube, right? So what we have here, let's just backtrack. I know you've gone on a rant. Let's just backtrack here for a minute. So what you have here is you have a special speed cube. Now, in all honesty, they're not as nice as Henry's cubes, but this is a decent speed cube, right? Come on, at least give the speed cube. It's nice, right? You were playing around with the cube earlier on, and it's gimmicked on one side, and you have a gimmick that you put on this cube. And when you put the gimmick on the cube, it allows the cube to look kind of mixed. The problem is...
Wait, I've made my own trick like this.
I know you have.
But literally, all it needs is a shell.
Yeah, I know. The thing is, the gimmick that's on this cube that you get with it, first of all, it doesn't look like it's a cube. I don't know if you picked up that on camera, but when your mum saw this immediately, she went, that doesn't look like a Rubik's Cube. Like, it doesn't look like a Rubik's Cube. And then the other problem is, the gimmick only covers 2 sides. But because it covers 2 sides... My
shell covers 3.
Yeah, well, here's the... I know. Look, here's the thing.
Well, 4,
yeah, here's the thing. The gimmick covers 2 sides. So, but in order to do this trick, you have to mix up the rest of the cube to make the other sides look kind of mixed up as well. But in order to do that, it flaps the gimmick around. And there's no way around that. So you have to hold the gimmick towards you and in order to kind of do a fake mix on the cube. And then you have to keep the gimmick towards you to unmix those sides. And then when you're back here, then you can change it. Now, if you compare that to something like InstaCube, there is a gimmick attached to it as well, or RD Insta or whatever Henry called it, but it only covers 2 rows. So you can do loads of false mixes without affecting those 2 rows. You can unmix them, and then just by doing this or touching it, you can have that gimmick flap. And then when you're doing RD Insta, that's the length of the gimmick, just one side. So you can immediately palm it off very, very easily. When you're finished with this, the whole white side is gimmicked. So if you want to remove the gimmick to have it examined,
I can't take it off.
No, because your hands are too small. You need fairly big hands. No, it doesn't work. Yeah. And the whole thing, I mean, it's just... First of all, he's right. It solves a problem that doesn't exist. Because there are, like he just showed you with the 1 move solve, or with the, the 1 second solve, there are ways of doing this that don't require sleight of hand. That don't require gimmicks. And if you are going to use a gimmick, RD Insta's much, much better. The only thing this has got going for it is this is a decent speed cube. It really is. But the thinking behind this is just asinine. The thinking behind this is stupid. Because
exactly what you said.
Yeah, the gimmick covers 2 sides. It affects mixing up the rest of the cube. So in order to do this, you have to hold it like this.
The thing is, it's stupid to hold it like that.
Yep.
And does this look mixed up? Literally, does that look mixed up?
No, it doesn't. No.
Literally, that just like mixed up is like this. This is mixed up. It's not 3 lines. It's not 3 lines. That's mixed up.
Yeah. Have you actually mixed it?
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
That's mixed up.
Yeah. That he is right. And the other thing is, in order to do the presentation that you get with MAGIKUB, by the way, MAGIKUB comes with 1 5-minute download instructions, as opposed to RD Insta that's like 35 minutes long.
This is just.
But I digress. In order to do it, you have to openly solve the green side first. So you say, I'm going to solve the green side. Now I've solved the green side. Now I'll solve everything else. Because of how the gimmick works and how restrictive it is.
How are you supposed to solve everything else? You need a magic thing, like snap, blow. Yeah, well, you can't really do a snap because this is how stupid it is. You got to hold it with 2 hands. You can't.
No, you can't, because you've got to do that in order to cover the angles. And the thing is, when you're solving that green side, solve that. When you're solving that green side, it's obvious that it's pre-mixed because you solve it with just 3 moves, and everybody knows that it takes longer than 3 moves to solve a Rubik's Cube. I mean, honestly, it's just not a very good trick at all. I wouldn't recommend it. You hate it.
I hate it.
The cube is nice. The speed cube you get with it is nice.
That's the only thing that's good about
it. The gimmick will probably last. It's made out of plastic and metal. It'll probably last a long time.
Yeah.
Although, having said that, it doesn't look like a cube. I don't know if that picks up on the camera, but when the gimmick is set, it just doesn't look like a cube at all.
Yeah. It doesn't match this type of cube. Well, it sort of does, but doesn't really. It sort of does.
No, it doesn't. I wouldn't recommend this. If you're into cube magic, then get yourself, if you want to have a really quick visual cube.
At least it's a little bit better than a gimmick that's made out of can lid.
Are we still on that? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the gimmick that's made out of can lid. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Although I think you watch it, I think that's on next week's review show.
Okay.
So you've just given them a spoiler, but it's all good.
Okay. Better than that, though.
It is better than that. And you can see how annoyed he is. You'd normally have solved the cube by now, to be perfectly honest.
That's how annoyed I am.
That's how annoyed he is. I'm going to give this 0%. I think this is absolutely terrible. If you are going to want to do something like this, either learn a 1 second solve, learn a 1 move solve, or get RD Insta, the Insta Cube by Henry Harrius. All three of those. Will you finish solving that cube?
Okay.
All three of those are so much better than what you have here. It's getting 0%. If you want to know what those things are that I just talked about and you haven't watched it already, a couple of weeks ago I did the Hows and Whys of Rubik's Cube Magic, went into great detail about how to solve a cube, went into all of that stuff, all the different gimmicks that are available. There's a million gimmicks that are available. That have you forgotten how to solve a cube?
No.
That's good. What do you give it? I give it 0%.
Minus infinity.
Minus infinity. Has this annoyed you so much?
Yes.
Yeah, it's getting 0% from me. It's absolutely terrible. It's... we normally throw.
Are we allowed to put it in the bin?
Well, no, because it's a nice speed cube.
Oh yeah.
I think you could. I think what
Can
we
we
do.
put the gimmick in the bin?
You can put the gimmick in the bin. But don't let them see the gimmick because obviously we don't want to expose the gimmick. But you can put the gimmick in the bin.
You hear the noise?
That was Ryalnd. That was Ryalnd putting the gimmick in the bin. But you can keep this as a speed cube. There you go. Got a new speed cube. Right. So there you go. 0% from me. Minus infinity from him. Let's move on to the next product.
This can go in the bin.
Right. So next up we have COSMICOIN 2.0 by Alex Soza, I think it is. Is that Alex Soza? And what this is, this is a coin set. Now, I'm torn as to what review to give this. What you get with this, you get a 30-minute download. We'll talk about the download in a bit.
Basically.
It is 50-50, and I'll explain why. First of all, when you watch the download, he says, Alex says, that you get 2 ungimmicked copper coins. You don't. In my set, you get 2 ungimmicked silver coins. It says you get 1 ungimmicked silver coin, whilst in actual fact you get 1 ungimmicked copper coin. And he also says that you get a gimmick, and he has no crediting for this gimmick. He acts like this gimmick is his invention and is the greatest thing in the world. What we have actually here is
a shell.
Well, no, it's a sun and moon coin. It is a shell. You are correct. It's a sun and moon coin. What a sun and moon coin is, if you don't know, is it's an expanded shell that goes over a copper silver coin. So you have a copper silver coin and the expanded shell goes on top. You've probably seen one of these in a hopping half set. If you get a hopping half set, you have a sun and moon coin with another shell that goes on top of it, and then you'll get a silver coin with a shell that goes on top of it as well. Yeah. What we have here is a set where, so we have that copper silver coin with a shell that goes on it. That's the sun and moon coin. But the other 3 coins as well, the shell goes on top of the other 3 coins as well. Oh no, it doesn't go on top of the copper coin. There you go. So they've not milled that down, but it goes over the 2 silver coins. So it goes over the 2 silver coins and it goes over the copper silver coin. That's what you get. Now, because my set was wrong, and I don't know if all of them are wrong, there's 2 routines on the project that won't work. Because I'd need another copper coin that matched instead of an extra silver coin. So they made a mistake there, first of all. Second of all, the crediting on this project was terrible because this is a sun and moon coin. There is absolutely nothing original with this set. If I give this a good mark, the reason I'm giving it a good mark is because these are well-made coins. And I know a lot about the sun and moon coin. So many years ago, one of the first projects I ever bought out was this thing called the Mirage coin set, which was my variation on the sun and moon coin. And what I did with the Mirage coin set, for those of you that don't know, it was a sun and moon coin, but the copper silver coin was a flipper. So it was a copper-silver flipper with a silver coin, with a shell that went over. So you could show it as just a copper coin, or you could take the shell off and show it as a copper-silver. But you could then, anytime you want to, access, you could open up that flipper so you could make it look like there were so many displays you could do with it. And I had this routine called International 5-Coin Matrix, which was a reverse matrix with no moves. And I remember the very first time that I actually lectured, the one and only time I lectured at the Magic Circle, I did this. And off the back of that lecture, that's why I got invited to join the Magic Circle as AIMC. Because of that coin set. So I know a lot about the Sun and Moon coin. It peed me off a little bit that this was not even credited in any way, shape or form. But that's not the only thing that annoyed me. The other thing that annoyed me about this is there's only 2 routines that actually use that. There's 3 routines that use the Sun and Moon set. There's probably about 6 routines altogether. There's only 3 routines that use this Sun and Moon coin set. 2 of them are spellbound. So, you know, I'm not going to do the spellbound routine, but 2 of them are variations on spellbound. So you can show the copper coin, you can squeeze and have it turn silver, you can shake it and have it turn copper, you can squeeze and have it turn silver, you can shake it and have it turn copper, and because of the shell and the copper-silver nature of the coin, you've got a few nice displays, which is fine. It's been done before by many, many coin magicians, myself included. But okay, whatever. And then the other reason that this is used is for a stand-up wild coin, which again is okay. I couldn't do the stand-up wild coin because I didn't have the coins necessary to do it because they screwed up what I got with the package. But whatever. There's nothing original there. The rest of the routines on there use a combination of, well, they use 2 coppers, 1 silver. I was varying it up by using 2 silvers, 1 copper, which is difficult to do when he's saying, hold the copper coin in your right-hand finger palm, and you're thinking, well, actually, I've only got 1 copper, I've got 2 silvers. I'm going to have to hold a silver in my left-hand finger palm. Right, okay. It was ridiculous. But the main move that a lot of the stuff uses is this move that he's created, this switch, right? And the switch is
terrible. Listen.
It is terrible.
Listen. Be quiet and listen.
Okay, this is the switch. Something like this. Watch.
The cling.
Yeah, it's something like that. I didn't bother spending too much time practicing it, but basically, it's a more visual version of the Bobo switch. But the problem with this is there's a clink, and when you watch him do it on the download, you can hear these 2 coins clinking against each other. And I'm thinking, is he going to address the noise issue? Is he going to address the fact that when he's doing this switch, you can hear the 2 coins clinking against each other? Because this won't fool a blind monkey. And no, there's no discussion at all about the noise that these 2 coins make. Like, there's no reason why you can't just do a Bobo switch. So pick up a silver coin, take the silver coin, put it in the hand, have it turn copper or whatever, and do a Bobo switch. But he doesn't. He uses this move over and over again. And then he presents tricks that like he's claiming are original, but they're weak versions of stuff that's already been out there. So, for example, he does this one routine where he's got just a copper coin and a silver coin, and he takes the silver coin and puts it. He takes the silver coin and puts it here. He takes the copper coin. He does his switch. He shows the silver coin. Then, for no reason, he brings the hand over here to dump the finger palm coin in to show the copper coin. And A, the switch is terrible because you can hear it. And B, and secondly, he's got no justification for loading the coin into the hand. Correct. But this is just like a very weak version of something Michael Rubenstein put together. But Michael Rubenstein's version starts the same way in that you've got apparently the silver coin here. But Michael does this switch which he created, which there's no noise at all, that does the switch like that, and there's no noise at all there. And then he has this lovely cleanup where he goes, if the silver's here, the copper's here, and he brings the coin over and taps in order to load the coin. So it looks like this. I'm going to put the silver coin here. I'm going to take the copper coin round. I'm going to put the copper coin here. Now, if I squeeze like this, the copper turns into the silver and the copper's over here. Now, that's a much better way of doing it that doesn't require that terrible move and justifies the use. And the reason I'm going through this is because the guy that's created this has no business teaching magic, because this is taught terribly. He then does a routine where he's got a card on the table and he does one symbol transposition where the two coins change places. He puts one underneath the card, he puts another one, he holds the other one separately, and they change, and he uses his terrible switch. So you hear everything. I'm going to perform that for you very quickly right now. So this is the routine that he does with the card. Let's bring the camera a bit closer. I'll show it you. So Ryalnd, I've got a copper coin and I've got a silver coin, 2 coins, right?
Yeah.
Now the idea is I'm going to take this copper coin, I'm going to put it underneath the thing. I'm going to take the silver coin and I'm going to shake it, and when I do, it turns into the copper coin and the silver coin is there. You could hear it, couldn't you? You could hear what was going on. Now I've had a version of this for years, and again, this was published a couple of times. It was published in a magazine somewhere. I think it was published in Magic Scene many years ago, and it was also in an ebook. Yeah, and I think it'll probably go on Netflix. It's a version of that. I say a version, but here's the problem. The problem is this guy doesn't talk about routine. Not only is the switch terrible, but there's no routining here. In order for a trick to be good, and this is the problem with Magic these days, and this is something that I've tried very hard not to have you do when you learn Magic, which is, it's instant gratification. It's like one move. Nobody talks about routining. Nobody talks about how to construct a routine. The reason when you were on the boat with Mark Oberon that he loved your cube routine is because it built. First of all, you introduced the props. Then you did the match. Then you did the solve. Then you did the solve. Then you had the big finish with the clear cube. And if you'd gone there and you'd said, hey, look, here's a cube, I'm going to solve it. Doesn't matter how good the solve is. That's not a trick. That's just instant gratification. So showing that thing where it's like, look, I've got this coin here, they change places.
Just like that other trick, you just solving it, it's not a trick.
Even if the moves were good, it doesn't matter. There's no routining. So
it's
here's exactly. So here's a routine I've been doing for a very long time, using a copper silver, using a copper coin and a silver coin, and a card. But notice there's 3 or 4 different phases in here, and the final phase happens in the spectator's hands. So it's an actual routine. And notice there's no moment where you hear the coins clinking against each other. Yeah. Let's have a look at that. We'll bring the camera closer again. Okay, right, so I've got a copper coin, got a silver coin. You can examine those if you want to, and you can have a look at the Joker. That cool? Yeah?
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. So the idea here, Ryland, I'm going to take the copper coin, put it underneath the mat, underneath the card, okay? Yes. The silver coin right here, watch, if I just rub it, it turns into the copper coin. If the copper coin's there, the silver coin's there, they actually change places. Now, that was pretty good, right? But you didn't know what was going to happen, so I'm going to do it again. Now, remember, the copper coin goes underneath the card. The silver coin stays there. You see the silver coin. It's only when I rub it that it turns copper, and if the copper's here, the silver is here. They keep changing places. Now, I'll do this one more time for you. Is the silver coin underneath the card?
Yes.
It really is, isn't it? And is the copper coin on top of the card?
Well, not anymore, but yes, it was.
It was on top of the card, wasn't it? Now, check this out. If I just rub, when I rub, it turns into the silver coin. If the silver coin's here, what's underneath the card?
Copper coin.
No, it's actually the copper coin's there, the silver coin's there. It's kind of confusing, isn't it? Big finish. Hold your hand out for me. Squeeze those 2 coins. Turn your hand over. Now, what I want you to do is with your other hand, reach in and take one of the coins out. Leave the other one in there. Is that the one you want?
Yes.
Are you sure? I'll put it here in my hand and I'll put the card on top of it, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, look, all I have to do is tap. You gave me the silver coin, didn't you? Now it's turned copper, and if the copper coin's there, have a look in your hand. You've got the silver coin, and you can examine everything. So you can see, I'm kind of worked up about this project. I want to point one more thing out. His routining with the Sun and Moon coin, is terrible. Applying the Sun and Moon coin to a spellbound routine is like using a double lift to do a card change and that's it. Yeah, it's the obvious application of it, but there's so much more you can do with it. So I'm going to show you one variation of something I've been doing for years with the Sun and Moon coin, which has got some really nice moments in it, and it takes advantage of the fact that... Oh, and the other thing, when I do this thing with the Sun and Moon coin, I'll show you how I get into it, which is having the coins examined and then switching the Sun and Moon coin in. I'll show you, because he never talks about that. He never talks about switching things in and switching things out. He just presents it normally to camera with no talking. He presents how the moves are done. But I'm honest, when you're talking about coin magic, you have to talk about how you're going to get into this routine. How are you going to bring this in? How are you then going to come out of it afterwards? How is it going to build to an ending? What's the ending going to be? How are you going to make it examinable at the end? How are you going to make it examinable at the beginning?
Really build,
No. So let's show you a simple routine with the Sun and Moon coin. This is something that I published many years ago in the Magic Bunny library many years ago, probably about 15 years ago now. This is just a really simple routine with the Sun and Moon coin. So let's have a look at this. There's some nice visual moments, and hopefully you'll see the difference. Okay, right, I've got a copper coin and a silver coin. Do you want to check them out? Make sure they're okay. Are we good?
They are not bendable.
They are not bendable.
Real.
They're not bendable. They're also not spendable, mate. They're very old coins, but we're going to do something with them. This one is an old sort of Morgan dollar, and this one here is an old copper English penny. So we've got a silver coin and we have a copper coin, correct? 2 hands, 8 fingers, 2 thumbs, 10 fingernails, 10 knuckles, no sleeves, and I talk fast. So pay attention. Do you see the 2 coins?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to watch. We have a silver coin and we have a copper coin, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I put the silver coin here, yes, and I make a fist around the silver coin, you can see the copper coin there, can't you? Yeah. But if I squeeze, what happens is now the silver coin's there, the copper coin's there, the coins have changed places.
Cool.
It is pretty cool, but maybe you missed it. I'll do it again. Do you see the silver and the copper?
Yes.
Now, if I take the copper and put it here and squeeze, they change places almost so quickly you don't see it happening. Like I tell you what, hold your hand out, flat and palm up. I'm going to put the 2 coins in your hand. Is that fair?
Yes.
Make a fist. Turn your hand over. Reach in and take the top coin out and put it in my hand. The top coin, put it in my hand. Very good. Squeeze the other one tightly. Don't let me get to it at all. Now, you gave me the... Oh, wow. It's going to be a challenge, but I like a challenge. You gave me the silver coin, didn't you?
Yeah.
If I just rub the silver coin, it turns into the copper coin. Of the copper coins here, have a look. Open up your hand. You have the silver coin. Now, this is all well and good, and I could keep doing this over and over again, and I'm sure you're impressed, but we're going to try and do one last thing. Look, the silver coin goes in the hand, copper coin goes on the back of the hand, yeah? Now watch, all I have to do is push down on the copper coin, and when I do, it turns into the silver coin. The copper coin's in the hand, but every trick needs a big finish. Do you want the big finish?
Yes.
Watch, do you see the 2 coins?
Yes.
If I take the silver, do you see the silver there, yeah?
Yeah.
Watch, if I take the silver in this hand, it turns into the copper, the silver's over there, that's the copper, that's the silver, and that's the trick. So there you go. Look, I don't want to talk about this anymore. It frustrates me. I'm going to give this project 0% because it is not very good.
-50.
It's not very good. If you are looking for a well-made... Now, these aren't real Morgan dollars as far as I can see. If you're looking for a well-made Sun and Moon coin set in dollar-sized coins with cut-down coins to match. When I had one of these made up by Todd Lassen, admittedly, they were soft coins. I probably paid about $700 for this. So if you're looking for a good Sun and Moon coin, these coins are really well-made. But what you need to do, when you see the explanation or you see the tutorial, don't bother watching it. Just put it in the bin because the teaching is atrocious. The crediting is terrible. There's nothing good about it. There's absolutely nothing good about this at all. There's nothing original. He does wild coin into a cup. As if like nobody's ever done that before. Hello, Michael Rubenstein's Twilight Zone Assembly call. He wants his trick back. Like seriously, 0% for the trick, 0% for the tutorial, 0% for the quality of the teaching, 0% for everything, but 90% for the quality of the coins.
Yes,
if you want a good coin set, then yeah, spend the money because it's very well priced for the coins that you get.
Get rid of the download or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Keep the coins.
But as a project, I'm giving it 0%. You said -50.
Yeah.
-50 from Ryalnd, 0% from me. So the final routine is by Nate Kranzo and P3 Penguin Magic. And when these guys get together, it's normally something pretty good. What we have here is a version of the 6-card repeat using just 4 cards. What we have here, normally with the 6-card repeat, as you know, you show 6 cards, you throw away 3, you've still got 6. This is kind of a different thing.
you get rid of 4 and there's still 4.
Yeah, so Nate's got this really nice line at the beginning. He brings out 4 blue cards and he goes, hey, I use blue cards for this because my eyes are blue and it's really important to be colour coordinated. And he brings out these blue cards and he says there's 4 cards. He says, I'm going to put 1 down there. That leaves us with 3. And he always ends up having 4. And every time he throws 1 away, he's still got 4. Every time he throws 1 away, there's still 4. And then at the end, as a kicker, all of the backs have turned red, which is a really, really nice.
Like you're evil now.
Yeah, right. It's nice. It's really good. The cards are gimmicked, which means that there's very little sleight of hand because they do all the work for you. Yeah. What do you think? You learnt it. What do you think of it? I mean, we haven't actually performed it yet. Do you want to perform it very quickly so people can see?
Yeah.
Because you learnt it, didn't you? Okay, we'll get Ryalnd to perform it, and then once he's performed it, we'll talk about what we think.
Okay. I've got 4 cards here. They're all blue and they're all 4s.
I see that, yes.
And it's called the 4-card trick. Do you know why?
Is it because they are 4s and there's 4 cards?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Okay. Now, so if I take a card away, how much should that leave us with?
That leaves you with 3 cards, Ryalnd.
That should leave me with 3 cards, but there is 4 cards.
What?
What?
How'd that happen?
I don't know. So that means I can just take 1 away then.
Okay, you can take 1 away.
So that should leave us with 3, yeah?
Yeah?
3, just like that, yeah?
Yeah, 3 cards.
So that just leave us with...
No, there's 4.
It's 4, yes, there is 4. That is... It's weird. Look, I'll put this one right there with the other one.
Okay.
Over there, okay? Look, so that should leave us with 3 again, yeah?
Yeah, 3.
That should leave us with 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 4.
I'll put 1 there then.
Okay.
Okay. Look, so that should leave us with 3.
Yes, there's 3 cards. 1, 2, 3.
Should leave us with 3, but it leaves us with 4. What is going on with these? I don't know. I think I know what the problem is actually.
What's the problem?
Do you know they were supposed to be blue?
Yeah.
Well, I can't do the trick.
Why?
Because they're red.
Wow. Okay, Ryan, that was a really good performance. What do you think of it?
I think it's amazing.
It's really good, isn't it? Like, it's a really good trick. Makes a great opener. How difficult is it to do?
Not that difficult. It's not even difficult, I would say.
The cards do the most of the work for you, don't they?
Yes.
The one thing that I'd say is because of how the cards are prepared, if you're using them a lot, you are going to have to rejuvenate them. Now, you've been using these cards and practicing them a lot. You have had to rejuvenate these cards once already. But Nate,
just over there.
Yeah, Nate talks about how you can actually make this trick again, or how you can actually fix your cards if they go wrong.
It's easy to make it. You just need to buy 2 packs of cards.
Yeah, you could make yourself like 15 sets of these if you wanted to.
As long as you buy lots of packs. Hang on, it doesn't have to be 4, so you can make yourself 52.
Exactly, because here's the thing that you need to consider. Because Nate throws away the 4 blue cards and he throws away the 4 red cards, those cards are going to kind of get wrecked. I mean, if you're on stage and you're throwing cards all over the place, you might not be able to find them afterwards. So I think it's quite good that you buy the thing, and in the download that you get with it, Nate tells you and teaches you.
Just remembered what I've got to say.
Go on.
I think it's good. I think it's important to use 4s.
You do, because when Nate does it on the download, he uses queens.
Well, 4s because there's 4 cards.
I suppose so. It makes sense. You've got the 4-card trick. I've got 4s, yeah. But I think you could use any cards, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah,
but I do get what you mean. It makes sense presentationally for the presentation you use. But yeah, I mean, Nate tells you how to make these cards again, which is really important with this trick, because if you're throwing them away, you might not be able to get them. I think this would go really well on a stage. I'm not too sure about close-up. I don't think it's a close-up trick, really. I think that there's other ways that you can do this using close-up, but for stage, coming out and showing the 4 cards, I think it would grab people's attention. I also think it would be really good for a kid show.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah.
You know, because I think you've got that look, no, see element. It's kind of, I've got 4 cards, they're blue backs. Everyone put your hand in the air if you can see the 4 cards. Put your hand in the air if you can see the blue backs. Great. I'm going to put 1 over here out the way. That leaves me with 3 cards, guys. I've got 3 cards.
No, it doesn't. It leaves you with 4.
What? How's that happen? Oh, that's really weird. Let me throw one of the cards away. There we go. Now I've got 3 cards. You can see there's 3 cards here. So now we can move on with the trick. 4. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think it lends itself to a kid's show very, very well. But I think stage would work as well. And I think
Stage is good, yeah.
I like the fact that, you know, you go and do a stage show and you've just got a little envelope with these cards in that you can throw in your case, and you've got a nice 5-minute routine that you can do anytime, anywhere, which is perfect for carry-on if you're doing ships or things like that. I'm going to give this 85%, mate. I think it's a really good opener. What are you giving it?
95.
95% from Ryalnd, 85% from me. If you're looking for a good opener for a stand-up show, this is something that you should. Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's one that you would do close-up. If you're a close-up performer and you just perform close-up, you could probably do it close-up. But I think there's ways of doing this without actually using these gimmicks. So yeah, highly recommended as long as you perform in the right environment.
Yes. And that's another review show in the bag. And that's another review show in the bag.
It is another review show in the bag. Guys, thank you very much for joining in. I think that the trick of the week this week should go to Switch 1. What do you reckon?
Yes.
Absolutely. Switch 1 is the...
Did we do a trick of the week last week?
Yes, we did.
What was
I can't remember.
I don't know.
But don't say anything because it's going to be next week. We've filmed a couple.
Yeah.
They're going to be out of order. But Switch 1, definitely trick of the week this week. And let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you have Switch 1? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Do you think that the Rubik's Cube trick is the worst Rubik's Cube trick of all time? We'd love to know your thoughts. And also, if you want to follow Ryalnd on YouTube, you can do so. Just go and search for Ryalnd the Kid Magician. If you want to see more videos like this, do me a favour, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. We read every comment, don't we?
Yes.
And you're working on being louder as well, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
He is.
Working on being louder.
He is working on being louder. Outside of that, thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll be back next week, next Wednesday, with another review show. And I'll be back tomorrow with the Magic stuff at 9 o'clock, at 6 o'clock a Magic Live, at 2 o'clock a Shorts. Thanks very much for watching. My name's Craig.
My name's Ryland.
We'll see you again. Take care. Bye, everyone.